Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we'll be breaking down the full card of Moreno versus Albazi, and also on the co-main events, 5-rounder Blanchfield versus Namajunas. First up on this card here, we've got Jack Shaw versus Youssef Zalal. Jack Shaw here is also, this is his second featherweight fight, I'm pretty sure, yeah. I know, third featherweight fight. So I've noticed since he come down from bantamweight, I feel like he's too small for the division as well. So he's coming off a loss there against Anderson Brito. Got completely picked apart. He's not, I don't really rate his striking too well, to be honest. Like, there's some leg kicks and a couple of punches here and there, and then trying to close the distance with his grappling and try to get the takedown off the fence and whatnot. So he's a very good grappler, but striking wise, I don't really rate him too well. Also, with these bigger guys in the division in the featherweight, I think he's gonna have a tough time to get in the fights on the ground. So I do think he should go back to bantamweight, to be fair. I just feel like he's very undersized for the featherweight, and going against someone like Youssef Zalal. Zalal's had a bit of a break there when he did take that loss. It was a while back, to be honest. Yeah, it was around. I remember him. I think it was against Topuria here. Yeah, Sean Woodson, Topuria, and Suwa Choi. So he took that loss, that 3-fight losing streak, and he came back, went on to other promotions, came back, and become a lot better with his striking as well. So he's very good on circling on the outside, throwing leg kicks, and using his boxing and keeping his range. And defense is very good too of Youssef Zalal now too. So very good timing his takedowns, and very good with his jiu-jitsu and his grappling. So very well rounded now. Now he's gone on other promotions and come back, and he's more well rounded, better boxing as well. So with this matchup here, I'm gonna go with Youssef Zalal. I just feel like he's gonna be too well rounded, and he's gonna be just constantly working the outside, and it's gonna be hard for. I feel like it's gonna be hard for Jack Shaw to get this fight to the ground, have it his way, because I feel like Youssef Zalal is gonna be too much there on the ground for him, and might even set up submission. So. Look, 20% community going with Jack Shaw, 80% Youssef Zalal. So I'm going to go with Youssef Zalal on this one. Next up, we've got Jamey-Lyn Horth versus Ivana Petrović. Jamey-Lyn Horth here, she's very tall for the division as well. So she's coming off a loss there, a split decision against Veronica Hardy. Yeah, more of a pressure striker. Does use the clinch and uses a lot of takedown. Can use the takedowns if she does get the fight to the ground. But with the striking, I feel like there's not a lot of output there too, and I just feel like that's kind of how she kind of lost the last fight there against Veronica Hardy. She was just too stationary. Veronica Hardy was constantly switching stances and circling on the outside. Just made it hard for Jamey-Lyn Horth there to try to get some shots off her, and she was just too much of a moving target. Yeah, so striking wise, bit too stationary, not the best footwork on her. And going against someone like Ivana Petrović, she's also not that great with her striking. Had a last win against Na Liang. Na Liang, I don't really rate her. I don't think she's even in the UFC, to be fair. So coming off that win, like, I've noticed she was even getting picked apart, like, against Na Liang on the striking there. So I don't really rate her striking too well, but grappling wise, she's very good and getting the fight to the ground. That's kind of how she got her win, and with the submission there, so I'm triangle choke. But yeah, I think striking wise, I'll probably go with Jamey-Lyn Horth here, but output is still not there for Horth, so it's a bit hard. I don't know if Ivana Petrović will get this fight to the ground. Like, her takedown defense is pretty good from Jamey-Lyn Horth as well. So, look, I know the community are going with Petrović, like with the grappling and whatnot. But if you saw that last fight, like, the striking is terrible. She was getting picked apart a fair bit. If she didn't get that fight to the ground, she would be fucked. So, and then going against someone a lot bigger for the division, Horth, taller, and better takedown defense. I feel like a lot of people are overlooking Horth on here. Maybe because the output of the striking, I don't know. But I'm gonna go with Horth with the 17% and 83% going with Petrović, which is fair, but I'm gonna go against those odds there. But yeah, I'd understand if Horth lost because of output wise and whatnot. Next up on the card here, we've got Chad Anheliger versus Cody Gibson. Chad here is coming off a win there 7 months ago against Grigore. Had 2 losses before that against Jose Johnson and got submitted by Jose Johnson. That's crazy. And Anheliger, and then had a win there with a counter left. So I wouldn't rate Chad striking too great. Like, he does have some nice counters there on his stand-up. Uses a leg kick to stay in range, but defensively he does get tagged a fair bit too on the counters. But he's more of a guy that'll be looking to grapple or get this fight on the ground. So against Cody Gibson, he could have some moments where he can get Cody Gibson ground, but Cody's quite a big fucking dude in this division. So Cody's more of the guy that knows how to use his jab and throw a lot of leg kicks, but defensively he gets tagged up too. But I don't think he'll get tagged up too much against Chad here. So he does get taken down a fair bit himself, but he does have some nice offensive grappling himself as well. Cody Gibson, he's coming off a win there with a submission, so he's got good jiu-jitsu as well. So going against Brian Keller, I don't think Keller's even on the fucking roster, to be fair. He was taken down a fair bit against Miles Johns and Katona. It was a back and forth war, and had a win there outside the UFC against Rivera Jr. So defensively, it feels like a very strong, hard grappler. Yeah, he would take down Gibson, but Gibson, again, like I said, is quite big for the division. I do feel like his strike is going to be maybe the slight edge on this. It's going to be a closer fight than people think. I'm going to go with Cody Gibson here. I'm hoping his takedown defense holds up against Chad and Helga, but again, you know, both guys are also same age as well, so 81% is going with Gibson, 90% Anheliger. But yeah, look, current experience, Anheliger does have it over Gibson, but yeah, Gibson was in the UFC before as well, before he went to the Ultimate Fighter. So yeah, Gibson's a pick here. Next up, we've got Serhiy versus Garrett Armfield. Hope I pronounced that right, Serhiy. Yeah, I feel like this is a little bit of a mismatch, to be honest. Like, he's coming up, Sidey's coming up a loss against Roman Tavares. He knocked him out in the Contender Series and lost in the rematch there in the UFC 9 months ago. So look, he was pressuring Roman Tavares, but Tavares was doing well, constantly circling the outside, picking shots, like picking his legs apart and using the jab well. And it was a bloody mess. Like, Sidey was not doing well in the striking there, was getting picked apart. Also he was struggling to get the fight to the ground, so he didn't have any answers there for Roman Tavares in the rematch. And going against someone like Garrett Armfield, I feel like Armfield's boxing's quite good, so I think that Sidey is going to have some issues there with his striking as well. Like, he does use some front kicks to keep his range and leg kicks. So yeah, the front kicks to the body, he'll stay at range, and then he's got some decent grappling as well. But this feels like a bit of a mismatch, to be honest, going against Garrett Armfield. I feel like Armfield's going to be a lot better than Roman Tavares. Tavares is good too, but I feel like this is a bit of too much of a step up in competition. Going against Garrett Armfield, and Armfield's an underdog here, which is fucking insane too. So Garrett Armfield's coming off a loss too against Brody Hanstead. Was out grappled and submitted. Had a win against Brad Katona and Kazama. So I rate his striking. Garrett Armfield got some nice combination and stays in range of those leg kicks, but the takedown defense obviously didn't hold against Brody Hanstead and was taken down in the Katona fight. Yeah, so he does have some issues with the takedown defense there in the later rounds. He does get taken down, or even earlier, by a strong grappler like Brady. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people are counting out Armfield. I'm gonna go with Armfield. I feel like he's gonna have too much experience over Sidey in this matchup, but Sidey, again, like, we'll see. Armfield's more of a stationary target compared to what Roman and Tavares will say. Sidey may have some moments with his striking there, and uses the takedowns there too. So we'll see about that. We'll see how this fight play out. But I'm gonna go with Armfield. I feel like Armfield could pull this off, but yeah, again, like you just don't know with MMA. So yeah, Garrett Armfield's a pick here at 36%, going for Armfield 64 with Sidey, which is fair. You know, Sidey could win this fight, but again, I feel like Garrett Armfield is getting a little bit getting overlooked in this matchup. Next up, we've got Alexandr Romanov versus Rodrigo Nascimento. With this matchup here, Alexandr Romanov, he's coming off a loss too. He's lost to all the top 10 contenders. Almeida had a win over Ivanov. I don't think Ivanov's even on the roster anymore. Lost against Volkov and Barriault. So with Romanov here, I don't really rate his striking, and his fucking gas tank's shocking too. Even the Tabara fight, Marcin Tabara, his fucking gas tank just went shit. Like, even this is the later second round, he was a rising prospect at one point where he would just completely go out there in the first round, just dominate with his wrestling, get the fight to the ground, use a lot of ground and pound, and get a lot of submissions off and whatnot. But yeah, he's starting to face top tier competition. He's struggling a bit with the top 10, so he stays in range, but the striking wise, he's not good. Like I said, like he'll throw some leg kicks and use his jab, but nothing more than a two punch combination. So he's not very good there on the striking. So going against someone like Rodrigo Nascimento, he had his moments too against Lewis. Like he did get the fight to the ground with Lewis. He did have some decent shots off on Lewis there. So. But Lewis knocked him out in the later rounds there, so Nascimento was slowing down there in a bit in the later rounds from what I noticed as well. Rodrigo's had some moments. He's decent. He's not, I wouldn't say he's the best striker. Like, it is heavyweight division. He'll pop, you'll come forward, use on 1-2s, use the clinch, wear down his opponents, and you know, even throw some elbows here and there and try to get the takedowns off the cage. So yeah, it's a 50-50 fight, this one. I feel like Rodrigo probably will have a slight edge in the striking there against Romanov, because I don't rate Romanov's striking at all, and I feel like Rodrigo's gassing maybe a bit more better than what Romanov has been in this fight. So this is a 3-round fight, so you know, I can't go Romanov, to be honest. This is fucking gassing shit. And yeah, Rodrigo, I feel like Rodrigo Nascimento is gonna be the better, more conditioned fighter in this fight in the 3 rounds too. And yeah, it's a 50-50 one. I don't think Romanov will get Rodrigo to the ground, to be honest. I feel like Rodrigo may have the edge in the striking, unless he gets robbed or some shit. Who knows what the judge is gonna be like in this fight. So it is a 50-50 fight. 28% are going Nascimento. Wow. And 72% Romanov. I'm gonna go with Nascimento. I don't know what the fuck you guys are looking at with Romanov, but it is what it is. I could be wrong. It is a 50-50 fight at the end of the day. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Rodrigo Nascimento with this one. I feel like he does have the edge in the striking. Next up, we've got Charles Jourdain versus Victor Henry. Charles Jourdain here is coming off 2 losses against Gene Silva, and he's lost to Sean Woodson. Gene Silva, obviously rising prospect, knocked him out with an uppercut, and Sean Woodson got a split decision win over him. Sean Woodson's a very good striker, a very good boxer, he's very tall for that division too, and yeah, he knows how to use his reach well. So last win was against Ramos. He was taken down by Ramos, and then he got a guillotine over him and went over Kron Gracie. Great, Kron Gracie's pretty fucking shit. And lost against Nathaniel Wood. So he's coming down in weight. Now, I just don't know. Every time I pick Charles Jourdain, in the last 2 fights I picked him, even against Jen Silva, yeah, he lost that fight too. I didn't know too much about Silva at that time, but yeah, sitting down after that fight, like even the Drew Dober fight, I'm like, alright, Silva's a real fucking deal, so fair enough. With Jourdain here, coming out weight, I just don't know how he's going to be with, how that weight cut's going to go on him. He's coming down to bantamweight. Yeah, bantamweight. So from featherweight to bantamweight, I don't know how the weight cut's going to be. I don't know what it's going to be like with his on the fight day. How much is going to take it out of him. So I can't pick him when when I don't know how he's going to feel on the weight cut. Going into bantamweight and going against someone like Victor Henry. He's been in the bantamweight division. Yes, he's fought older guys like Rani Yaha and a fight against Rani Barcelos. So he's a guy that's more of a striker. Nice and throwing combinations and working different angles. He also gets taken down a fair bit too, but I don't know. I think Charles Jourdain can use his takedowns. He used it against Kron Gracie, but I don't think he's gonna fucking use. He might use it against Victor Henry. There is holes there. Sorry about the noise in the background. There is holes there against Victor Henry, getting taken down in some fights. Also, losing against Rafael Asensio, not a good look as well. That was 2 years ago. But he's come back from that and also had a Javid Basher out. It would have been good to see where he was at in the division, but that ended up being a no contest. So, yeah, Victor Henry, I feel like I'm going to go with Victor Henry. I just feel like with the output and whatnot, I think he's going to have the edge in this fight. But again, like I said, Charles Jourdain, he's good in the ground with setting up submissions and guillotines, whatnot. But striking wise, he doesn't throw too much output, leg kicks, front kicks to the body, a lot of spinning shit. But yeah, he does have a nice counter left hand. Throws it straight, uses his left counter down. But other than that, I don't really rate his striking too much. So Victor Henry's a pick here. It is a 50-55 because more so we don't know what Jourdain's weight cut's going to be like. So 52% going to go Jourdain, 48 with Henry. So I'm going to go with Henry on this one, but I wouldn't be surprised if Henry does lose against Jourdain in this fight. So like again, I just can't really go on Jourdain. More so losing, coming off 2-fight loss and the weight cut. I don't know how it's going to affect him in this fight. So yeah, Henry's a pick there. Next up, we're going with we got Ariane Lipski. I think it was Ariane De Silva. She changed her name 6 months ago. I don't know why Tapology's still picking up on Lipski here. They're going against there with Jasmine Jasudavicius. Try to pronounce that. I had to go to the fucking websites where you learn pronunciations and shit. So hopefully I did a decent pronunciation on that. So Jasmine Jasudavicius. Okay. Anyways. Ariane Lipski is coming off a loss here against Karine Silva, but Silva's obviously a top prospect coming up the division. She did take Lipski down and controlled her, use a lot of grappling against her. Lipski's more of a Muay Thai fighter, pushing forward, use a jab, throws a lot of low kicks. She does have holes in her takedown defense, Lipski does, and she does have some nice jiu-jitsu in the ground, so she's very good in doing pulling off arm bars and knee bars. But if the other fighter got some good defense on the ground, and our Lipski does struggle, she does get controlled on the ground and out grapple. So she's coming up. She had a nice little streak there, and then bumped into Karine Silva and did lose against Priscilla by TKO. I went with Lipski at that time, so I was kind of annoyed that she lost against Priscilla. So it is what it is. So going against someone like Jasmine Jasudavicius, I feel like this fight will hit the ground. I feel like Jasmine is probably not the better striker in this matchup. I feel like she's really slow, but she does have decent striking, but she's very slow with the output and setting up shots. Like she did get picked apart against Tracy. Tracy's striking has gotten a lot better since that fight. And then she submitted Priscilla, and for me to Fatima Klein, that was a last minute step in there. So I think this fight's going to hit the ground. I think Jasmine's going to use that grappling and try to control Lipski. The blueprint's right there against that last fight there, and I do think that her submission defense will be on point. She hasn't really, I don't think she's been submitted in this fight, so in UFC, so I'm gonna go with Jasmine here. A lot of people are going Jasmine as well, 70%, 29% Lipski, but again, Lipski can be that fighter in the division to pull off upsets and whatnot. So Yeah, I will be surprised if Lipski wins this fight, but yeah, again, I'm gonna go with Jasmine. I understand if a lot of the people do pick Lipski, the silver, Ariane, the silver. So yeah, yeah, Jasmine's a pick here by me. Next up, we got Ayman Sahabi versus Pedro Munoz. With this matchup here, Ayman Sahabi, coming up a win streak there. He's also getting old there. I've noticed he's 36 years old, almost pushing 37. Coming off a win against Javid Basharat, which is a very good win. I was quite surprised. I actually picked Javid Basharat to beat Ayman Sahabi in that fight, but yeah, I was quite surprised how good Sahabi's defense is and full pressure combinations, and his takedown defense was very good in that fight too. So he's got very good takedown defense and very good with defensively, and knows how to pick his shots and come forward. He is coming getting old, but going against someone like Pedro Munoz, I feel like he's going to be very good on his defense. I feel like he's going to constantly circle on the outside and make it hard for Pedro Munoz to get his shots off. Pedro Munoz is getting old too. I've noticed his hand speed. His hand speed's not there anymore like it used to be. Coming up 2 losses, one against Collar Phillips and Marlon Vera. Marlon Vera fight was a lot closer than what Phillips was, but again, Vera is more of a stationary target than when Collar Phillips was. So Pedro Munoz struggled with Collar Phillips because Collar Phillips is more of a guy that constantly circles on the outside and picking his opponents apart. So Zahabi's going to be like that. Zahabi's going to be constantly moving around on the outside, and he will pick his shots when he does come forward and throw combinations. Defensively, he's going to be good. So Pedro, like I said, he doesn't have the hand speed anymore as well, from what I've noticed in the Kyle Phillips fight. He does set up takedowns at times, but I think he will struggle here against Ayman Sahabi. So yeah, and he's also getting old to himself, 38. So I think this is a fight where I think Munoz, if he does lose this, I think he will call it a day. So Zahabi 72%, 28%. Munoz, so Zahabi, I'm picking Zahabi to get a decision win over Pedro Munoz in this fight. Sorry about all the background noise. There's so much shit going on in this house. So yeah, anyways, next up we're on the main card here. Malott versus Trevin Giles. With this matchup here, Malott's coming off a loss there against Neil Magny. He was looking good until he wasn't. His gas tank just went shit at the later rounds there, and Neil Magny got a great TK. So Malott, he was on a nice little streak there. He was getting everyone out of the first or second round. Striking wise, he's alright. He's not the best striking, but he's got good defense on the striking there. So he'll just like throw some leg kicks and body kicks. So he's very good at targeting the body for notice as well against opponents. And also look for counters as well. So but he'll be looking to time his takedowns and get the fight on the ground and use a lot of ground and pound. So and setting up submissions. And going against like Trevin Giles does have some holes in his takedown defense. But again, Trevin Giles' opponents, he's always going against hard opponents. All the fighters that he's lost to are pretty much top prospects coming up in the division. Or they are. Like he lost to Dricus, he lost to Carlos Prates, that now is going to be headlining the Fight Night card next weekend. So he's big prospect coming up in the division. And Trevor Giles, he's okay with the striking. He's not the best. Like he's got a good jab and to throw some leg kicks here, but he gets countered a lot too. Defensively, he does get picked apart on the striking, and does get taken down a fair bit as well. So look, he's also come off loss against Bonfim. He's another top prospect, and he had a split win over Parsons and Lewis Koske. Had a win there, and also lost to Michael Morales. Like his resume, it's just full of killers, man. And I feel like Malott is gonna find those holes and take down Trevin Giles, and I feel like he will be smart enough to not know how to use gassing, but like I think it's been a while to the last fight, 9 months ago. I feel like his condition should be a lot better in this fight, so Malott is the pick here, but again, if he doesn't work on the gas tank and he doesn't pace himself, Giles could get the win. So Malott's the pick here. Next up, we have Marc-André Barriault versus Dustin Stoltzfus. Marc-André, there's coming up 2 losses. One loss was against Pfeiffer, got knocked out, and Chris Curtis. So more of a push forward striker. That split. If you watch that fight against Curtis, that was a close fight. So yeah, he's push forward striker. He uses jab well. He also defensively gets tagged up a fair bit too. Also uses a clinch fair bit to wear down his opponents, but yeah, his last win was a while ago too against Anders. So going against someone like Dustin Stoltzfus does, like, he did well in the first round against Bruno Ferrer, then got knocked out by a spinning elbow. So his streak is all over the place. So Stoltzfus, I would have raised striking, to be honest. Like, he'll use some stay in range, use side kicks, leg kicks, and more so try to close the distance. Like, he looks for counters there on the more of his striking, to be honest, and then he'll try to close the distance and get the takedown. So he's more of a grappler and very good with jiu-jitsu as well. So who knows if he can get this fight to the ground? I don't know, to be honest. So, but the problem is, like, he's win against Soriano. Soriano's pretty shit as well now, and got knocked out by very high level strikers. And also his last proper win was against Garrett there. So yeah, I don't know if I can go with Stoltzfus, to be honest. I feel like he's going to get knocked out this fight too. So I'm going to go with 70% is going to go with Stoltzfus and 83% Barriault. So I'm going to go 83% with Barriault on this fight. Also, I do apologize, I'm sick as well. I do take my time speaking and whatnot on the next fight, trying to catch a breath. Next up, we've got Caio Machado versus Brendson Ribeiro. With this matchup here, Caio pretty much hasn't had a win in the UFC. He's had a win over Kevin. I'm not going to pronounce that fucking name in the series. But yeah, he had a win over Kevin. So lost to Mick Parson. Also lost to Dante Mays. That's not a good look because Dontel Mays has lost to a lot of people. So he does have, like, Dante Mays is okay with striking and whatnot. He just can't put it together, to be honest. He's also old as well. So Caio Machado, I don't really rate his striking either. I feel like his striking just ass. He just uses the jab, throws some low kicks here and there. Got some good takedown defense. Other than that, man, I don't know what the fuck the UFC saw in this guy. Even on the Contender Series, I didn't really rate him. He's coming down to light heavyweight too. So who knows? I think this is his last chance. If he doesn't win this fight, I think they'll just cut him, to be honest. And say going against someone like Brendson Ribeiro is not that great too as well. But striking wise, I do feel like he's a lot better than Caio Machado. He throws a lot of 1-2s and a lot of low kicks. Defensively, he gets tagged up a fair bit to himself, so he's come up 2 losses himself. That's why he's a slight underdog, because they're both pretty shit on the striking. But yeah, offensively, Brenson's probably got the edge here, but yeah, he could get tagged up himself too. And he'd be more looking for takedowns and, getting the control on the ground and setting up submissions as well. So he's got a lot of ground and pound, a lot of submissions on his record while getting his takedowns. But Caio Machado's takedown defense has held up there in a lot of the fights, so it might be just a striking battle, to be honest. So most likely will be fair, but I think Brendson Ribeiro is going to be the better striker, and he's going to have the better footwork in this fight too. So Caio coming down light heavyweight, we'll see how he looks. They might move around a bit more faster than we did at heavyweight. Fucking knows. So I don't really care about this matchup. This matchup's pretty ass, to be honest. But I don't rate both guys at all. Maybe Ribeiro, yeah. Better striker wise. But yeah, so 78 again, 78% picking Ribeiro, and obviously very high percentages there with a knockout. That is very possible. And 22% Machado. So yeah, someone's getting cut off this fight. So I'm gonna pick Brendson Ribeiro in this one. Next up, we've got Derrick Lewis versus Jhonata Jhonata, yeah, the J silent. Jhonata Diniz, yeah. Sorry about the pronunciation. Like I said, I do my best. If no one likes it, can get fucked. Anyways, Derrick Lewis is coming up a win there against Rodrigo Nascimento, as obviously we broke down his fight earlier on. Yeah, his record's all over the place too. He's getting old as well, almost pushing 40. He had a loss against Serhiy, which is fine. Serhiy is definitely a very good striker himself. He was tearing that division over time before he ran into Tom Aspinall. Lost against Spivak there. Won against the old man Lima, and lost against Gelson Almeida. So he's lost against a lot of the heavy grapplers and very, very top-rated strikers in the heavyweight division. So he was getting out grappled too and taking down a lot against Nascimento, but I feel like he did have the edge on the striking there. So he was a better striker. It's just that it's Derrick Lewis, you know, at the end of the day, doesn't have the best footwork. He's just more of a push forward striker, look for the knockouts, and that's what he was good for. So you can't count him out. He may get a knockout in the 5th round. He may get a knockout early on. You just don't know. You can't count him out. You got to be perfect. You got to get him out of there early in the fights, and that's what most of his losses are. So going against someone like Diniz, offensively, his striking's okay. He doesn't really throw too much output. He was a former Glory kickboxer. So he'll throw a lot of low kicks and use a jab here and there, pop a couple of 1-2s. He's not this heavyweight, you know. They're not very good fucking. They don't really throw too many combinations, so and when they do, they gas out. So look, I don't really rate him. He's undefeated, but defensively he gets hit a fair bit too, Diniz. And even the last fight against Carl Williams. So apparently the UFC told Carl Williams not to use his takedowns, which I think is true, because when he did get the takedowns in the later rounds, he got him down easy. And his contract was on the line, Carl Williams, to keep it on the stand-up and keep it a striking battle. And Carl Williams did get tagged up against Diniz in the first round. But yeah, Carl Williams ended up getting cut too, which is bullshit. You know, he kept on the feet. But I think that the late takedown at the end kind of fucking pissed off the UFC. Who knows? But yeah, so he's got holes with his takedown defense. Diniz, he was taken down by Carl Williams very easily and was taken down by Austin Lane very easily. So, look, he does find his way on the feet and then does get the knockout. So, yeah, it's going to be a striking battle. Won't be any takedowns in this one. 62% get knockout with Lewis and 38% Diniz. I'm going to go with Lewis too. I feel like Lewis might get the knockout. Diniz does get tagged up a fair bit, but you know, I'd be surprised if Lewis does get his legs kicked apart here and maybe get his movement slowed down in the second round and maybe get counted himself. Who fucking knows? So, look, Derrick Lewis is a pick here. I feel like he can get the knockout over Diniz, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets knocked out himself against Diniz. So it's a nice little fun scrap there for everyone. Definitely I'll be very surprised if he gets 3 rounds. Shouldn't. I just hope it doesn't. But yeah, Lewis is a pick here. Next up, we've got the co-main. It's a 5-rounder. It's not a 3. I did think it was a 3, but yeah, I had to look again. It's 5, yeah. So Rose Namajunas, because this is a 5-rounder, I feel like it's going to favor her. She is the underdog. You know, coming off 2 wins there. Last minute, it's Tracy Cortez. I can't remember who Cortez filled in for. Someone pulled out the last minute. Oh fuck, I can't remember. It was a Denver card too. Let me have a look here. Sorry, I shouldn't be doing fucking research while I'm on the go breaking down. Who was it? Yes, Macy Barber. That's right. Macy Barber pulled out in that fight. So, going against someone like Blanchfield, it's a bit of a hard one. Namajunas is going to be the better striker, obviously, using her footwork. She's very good using her jab and popping the 1-2s and very nice combinations to the body as well. So, but yeah, she stays in range and uses a lot of leg kicks to make her opponent stationary. and she used to be known as a grappler. She still does grapple here and there. Like she did take down fucking, who was it? Zhang. She used a lot of takedowns in that fights when she does really need to. Was taken down by Cortez in the last fight. So defensively, she's a takedown, and defensively she does get taken down a fair bit too. So still young as well, 30 years old, and yeah, like again, I think she's gonna have the striking advantage in the one, but as much as she got her wins, even against Reba, she was taken down and Cortez taken down. But this is a 5-round fight, so and I feel like she's gonna pace herself well, and if her mind is there, she's motivated, she will get the win. I feel like it. Erin Blanchfield's not the best. I don't think her striking is gonna be as good as Nami's. No way, nah, hell no. It's not gonna be up to par with Nami Yunus in this matchup. It's gonna be looking to get this fight on the ground, even just like probably like setting up a lot of traps against the fence and trying to wear down Nami Yunus against the fence, and using knees and elbows, and even trying to get the fight to the ground and use a lot of ground and power, use a grappling and use a jiu-jitsu. So she's very good in putting opponents in crucifix positions too. So there's something that Nami Yunus is gonna be wary about. But other than that, I just don't really rate his striking too well. Like that, even that win against Jessica Andrade. I think Andrade was like a last minute replacement, but Andrade is fucking slow. But she does have power, obviously. That win over Andrade is quite impressive, and yeah, losing against Manon for it, yeah, which is not a bad thing. So for it's obviously the next contender there. Manon's the next contender there against Shevchenko coming up, so yeah, we'll see how that one goes. So this is a 50-50. If Rose does have holes on getting, she has been taken down a fair bit against Rebus, and she got taken down against Cortez. So I don't know how the judges are going to play this out. It depends how many takedowns Erin can get against Rose, and how much control time there is against the cage. So she's gonna fucking try to stall this fight against the cage, and that's been spoken about, and I think that will happen in this fight. I think Erin will do anything she can to stall this fight against the cage. Happen against Jose Aldo, and it will happen in this fight too, depending who the referee is and who the fucking judges are, or whatnot. So we'll see. So she does have a Buto background, but I don't think that's gonna do much against Ronaldo Use. I just don't like her striking's ass, man. Like it's okay, it's not ass, it's okay, but against someone like this, very sharp as Rose is gonna make work of it on the feet. So 50-50 fight, hits on the ground. If it gets to the ground, I feel like Erin will be the better grappler and could do damage against Rose and out grappler and whatnot. So we may even see an upset with the fight hitting the ground against Rose, and Rose can be put into some bad positions there and get damaged on the ground. Even though her ground game is good, she does find ways to get on her feet, but I think Erin gonna be next level on the ground. So yeah, it's a bit of a 50-50 fight. I'm gonna go Rose here, Nami Yunus, but it's 60% going no Rose and 40% Blanchfield. But I could see Blanchfield getting upset here and finding a way to get the fight to the ground. But again, yeah, it's a 5-round fight at the end of the day, and Nami Yunus is gonna come out strong in the first 2 rounds. I feel like it. So yeah, Nami Yunus is a pick. It is a bit of a low confidence pick because I feel like Erin Blanchfield would do more damage on the ground than what we think. So yeah, Nami Yunus pick. Main event: Brandon Moreno versus Amir Bazi. Moreno, I feel like we haven't seen him for a while. He's come off 2 losses, split decision loss against Royval. As much as Brandon Moreno is good, he's also not. It's one of the things. The output's the problem with Brandon Moreno here. In that Royval fight, he did well offensively, but the output wasn't there. He doesn't really push the fight as much as well. Like he did get tagged up, but he did eat a lot of body kicks during that fight too. So Moreno does have a good jab, and he's very good at using his range and using leg kicks. Defensively, he gets tagged up a lot. He does take a lot of damage. He's very good on setting up his takedowns. He's got good jiu-jitsu. We've seen him tap out Figgy. Yeah, he also lost to Pantoja, and yeah, it wasn't a nice little streak there. Yeah, it went liver kick against Kakara, so he's very good, very well rounded, but yeah, I just feel like he looked a bit lost there against Brandon Royval in the last fight. So going against like a Barzi does have knockouts on his records, but I don't feel like his striking is going to be there compared to Moreno. Abazi be more looking for takedowns and uses grappling. His last fight was a fucking robbery. If anyone says that Abazi won that one, very delusional. He got outstruck. He maybe won 2 rounds. He definitely did not win 3 rounds. So yeah, he should not even. I don't know why the UFC have feeding him to Moreno. He should be fighting someone out of the top 5. He did not deserve to get a top 5 opponent. So, and he's had like a year and 4 months layoff. So it was a bit of a bullshit win. Judges weren't cracked that day in the Apex. They love smoking up over there because there's always bad decisions in the Apex. Yeah, there's nothing against Albazi. It's just that was a gift to win, man. To be honest, I feel like he just got completely outstruck in that fight and wasn't even close. So yeah, he's a smaller guy too, 5'5", and the reach advantage is gonna go to Moreno as well. So it's hard pick, man, because I don't know how motivated Moreno is to fight. I just don't know. I don't know what output he's gonna put out there. Is he really gonna be hungry to get this fight? Because he didn't look fucking hungry in the last one. He just paced himself, and then he had his head down, going, "Fuck, what did I lose for, mate? You didn't look like you were hungry. You didn't look like you were pushing to get the fight." So, Abazi's gonna be hungry. Abazi's gonna be looking to mix it up with his striking and get the takedowns. And there's been holes in Moreno's takedown defense at times. Like, but then again, these guys are like Pantoja. They're all split decision losses. Like Pantoja's very well rounded, and Defeason took him down in that third fight a fair bit too. So, and he does become stationary a fair bit too, Moreno. He doesn't really fucking use his footwork too much as well. So that's also a problem with him getting taken down and overcommitting on the striking. It is a 50-50 matchup. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go with Moreno, but I don't know. I don't know how motivated he is. Surely he'd fucking be hungry to get this win. I don't know. Abazi's gonna be more hungry, I feel like it, but this is gonna be a low confidence pick. I'm gonna pick Moreno, but maybe on fight night I'm gonna probably regret it and go, yep, Abazi's probably gonna get the takedowns and whatnot. 35% going with Abazi, 65% Moreno. And I feel like a lot of people are going to pick Abazi, and I have started seeing them pick Abazi as well because of Moreno not being motivated. So maybe a fight you want to stay away from betting or whatnot, but yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, guys, those are my picks. Sorry about the background noise. Sorry for the struggle getting through this card because, you know, like I said, I'm a bit sick at the moment. But yeah, I'll upload this one this week, obviously, and I'll get through the Magny versus Pratis card tomorrow. I'll break that down tomorrow and I'll upload that not early this week, but it will be uploaded this week. It won't be uploaded next week, so I can kind of get ahead of these UFC cards and get them done earlier and have a bit of a break the later at the end of the year. So anyways, guys, those are my picks. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like, subscribe, and we'll be back with Magny versus Pratis card. Cheers.